This is especially for those people who say, I can't meditate. I sit down, my mind just goes crazy. But this is for anybody that wants to improve every area of their life, including their spiritual walk, their meditation practice, etc. So I'm reading Siddhartha. It's a novel by Herman Hesse, and man, it's got some really great stuff in it. But this main character, I want to read to you about how he manifests, and then I want to talk about it real quick and how it applies to meditation. So how he manifests things. So he's left the religious order, being a monk, and he's trying to find success in the secular world, and things just keep happening for him. And everybody asks him, what's your skill sets? Like, what can you do? You're just a monk. You know, how are you going to make it in this world? And you have no possessions. And they say, well, so what can you do? And he says, well, I can wait, I can think, and I can fast. And they laugh at him and they mock him. But yet these same people, women are falling in love with him. People are giving him jobs and opportunities, and he's making money. And other people are standing watching this, and they're like, what is it about this guy? He has like magic, right? Why are these good things happening? Don't you know somebody like that? It seems like they have the Midas touch. Everything they touch turns to gold. They can't do no wrong. The women fall for them. They get promotions at work, even though they don't seem to be the hardest worker, not the best looking guy. And things just keep happening for him. What's the secret, right? Well, he gives it away in this book, and it's so powerful. So he's explaining to this woman who's asking him the secret to success, to his success. He says, you know, when you throw a stone in the water, it finds the quickest way to the bottom of the water. It's the same with me when I have an aim or a goal. I do nothing. I wait, I think, I fast. I go through the affairs of the world like the stone through the water, without doing anything, without bestirring myself. I am drawn and let myself fall. It's so good. I am drawn by the goal. I do not allow anything to enter my mind which opposes the goal. And that's what he's learned from being this religious monk for all these years in the forest with no possessions. So a quick interpretation or breakdown of that, I want you to understand the 3 steps to manifest anything, according to this and according to other traditional beliefs, and why meditation matters to all this. So number 1, he says, I have the ability to wait. And what he's saying there and what he's demonstrating is that he has patience, right? The moment we want something, our mind goes crazy trying to find 1,000 different ways of how to get it, or starts talking to us about why we can't get it. But the mind goes crazy. We have no control over it. If you have no control over your mind, and you don't have the patience for the waiting game to let the universe move all the pieces in place, to let your prayers be answered, you just have to believe that you already have that thing, and it will begin to move and shift and put itself in place. But you got to have the patience, the belief, the control of the mind to not let outside forces, other people talking to you, your own self-doubt, the programming, all those things, right? But how do you get that control over the mind? By meditation. How do you override self-doubt? And how do you deprogram yourself? How do you deconstruct? How do you push out the voices from friends and family and society to say that can't be done? You have to have control over your mind. It is a machine that you are in control of. But so many of you let your mind control you. That's why you sit there and you say, I can't meditate. As soon as I close my eyes, my mind goes 1,000 different places, because your mind's running you. You're not running your mind. The second thing he says I could do, he says, well, I can think. And what does he mean by think? He has an imagination. He can imagine the goal that he wants. He can imagine the situation that he wants to create. And then he locks in on it and he focuses. That's something else that meditation allows you to do, to push all those distractions out, to focus on one thing. There are exact meditations where you just sit and stare at a candlelight or a certain place on the wall, or there's a million ways to do it, but he has developed this ability to think about what he wants and to push everything else out. And he says, I love it again, I'll repeat it. He is drawn by the goal, for he does not allow anything to enter his mind which opposes the goal. And we're talking about that mind control. He knows how to keep that stuff out. The Bible even talks about, Paul says, to take every thought captive. That's that same technique, that's that same ability to focus on one thing and have control of your mind and be able to imagine it and see it, and nothing distracts you or take away from it. And then the last thing, which in meditation and spiritual teachings always talk about, is we've got to have control of our mind and we've got to have control of our body. One of the most basic meditations that you can do is on an inhale breath, I am not the body. And then on exhale breath, I am not the mind. This allows you to create some space between the real you and become the observer and the body and the mind, because you need to pull back, be the real you, and take control of the tools that you were given, the tool of the supercomputer of the mind and the tool of the body. And by saying he fasts, what he's saying is, yes, there's very much importance to fasting in order to move things in the spirit, in order to become more in tune and aware and spiritual. But it also shows that just like his mind doesn't get to go crazy and tell him where to go, neither does his body. He's not led by compulsions of the mind or by the body. You know how we see that piece of cake and I swore I was going to start my diet, but I can't help it because the body controls us, right? You got to have that coffee. You got to have that drink. You got to have whatever it is, your sexual gratification, all these things that were driven by compulsions of the mind and the body when we are not in control. But through meditation, we gain mastery over the mind. Through meditation, we gain mastery over the body. And once we have the mastery over the mind and the body, whatever we can think and imagine and lock onto and focus on, it just becomes like magic. And people are like, I don't understand how that happens for him, how he's so blessed, why he's so lucky. And that's what people begin to see, because it's just like you're on a winning streak. Things just keep lining up and happening in your favor, and it's a beautiful thing to watch happen. It's a more beautiful thing to experience. But that is so important why you want to really add meditation into your life. There's numerous benefits that we could cover, and it couldn't do it in a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minute video. But if you're trying to change your life, you're trying to manifest something, you're trying to grow and become more powerful, whether it's spiritual or in the world or success in business or relationships, whatever you're looking for, meditation is a key that's going to open the control, the power and control over the mind, the body, the imagination. So I highly encourage you, get meditating.